Good evening and thanks for joining us. This is ASO Television News. My name is Osman Khatun Umar. We begin with the headlines. Police reject 500 million naira bribe, seize suspected Canadian loud worth 7.8 billion naira. And from our business desk, CBN Governor Cardoso reaffirms bank's commitment to orthodox monetary policy transparency as pivotal to economic stability. Thank you once again for joining us. We begin from the presidency, where reactions have continued to trail President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's acceptance of his nomination as the winner of the APC primary. He polled over 10 million votes across 36 states of the country and the FCT to defeat his rival, Stanley Osifo, who polled over 16,000 votes to get certificate of return for the 2027 elections. The president said the nomination has renewed his commitment to serve the nation with even greater determination. He said with another 4 years of disciplined focus and national cooperation, he would firmly place Nigeria on an irreversible path of economic expansion, industrialization, energy security, infrastructure development, food sufficiency, and democratic consolidation. President Tinubu called on those who may disagree with him politically and extends a hand of partnership in nation building. He disclosed that democracy is sustained not by uniformity, but by diversity, by a shared belief in the nation and the blending of ideas. Earlier, National Chairman APC Professor Nantaye Wirwata congratulated President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on his victory while saying that the party has come out strong to be able to remain united and solve its problems amicably. Moving on, report by our correspondent in Kuje Area Council brings us details on how the election was conducted in the 10 political wards of the area council.
Announcing the result, the Kuje APC Presidential Returning Officer and Chairman of Kuje Area Council, Abdullahi Suleiman Sabo, said President Bola Ahmed Tinubu polled 4,458 votes to defeat his only rival, Stanley Osifo, who scored 0 votes across the 10 political wards of the council. Speaking after monitoring the exercise across the 10 political wards of the council, the Chairman-elect of Kuje Area Council, Danjuma Samuel Shekwelo, alongside the FCT Monday Secretary for Agriculture, Abdullahi Suleiman Ango, described the exercise as peaceful, transparent, and highly successful.
Everybody is happy, and you can see the numbers of people who are out here, of course, to perform their civic duty for the primaries of APC. For us in FCT, we don't have a reason not to vote President Ahmed Bola Tinubu. We don't have a reason. From primaries down to general election, we don't have a reason.
Unanimously, we have agreed to give the president all our votes, because he has done the best for us, particularly the people of FCT, and with specific reference to the satellite towns. We have no single reason not to support Mr. President. And of course, we must use all opportunity to appreciate Mr. President.
Some voters who spoke to ASO Radio and Television said they had no better choice than to massively support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, citing his administration's policies and developmental programs as reasons for their support. In Rubochi, the first executive chairman of Kuje Area Council, Mr. John Adayelo, also praised the peaceful conduct of the exercise and urged party members to remain united ahead of the general elections.
I've voted my candidate, which is the president, and I'm happy for voting him.
As you can see, people have turned out. I have casted my vote because I'm an eligible voter. I have my membership card for the party.
The development we have seen so wonderful, especially in FCT and Kuje Area Council. He has done so much.
Agent of both aspirants confirmed that the primary election was free, fair, and credible before signing the official result sheet on behalf of the candidates they represented. The returning officer and chairman of Kuje Area Council, Abdullahi Suleiman Sabo, said he was not surprised by the massive support recorded for President Tinubu, noting that the turnout reflects the confidence of APC members in the president's leadership.
By the special grace of God, come 16 January 2027, Kuje Area Council people will come out in their numbers to vote President Tinubu again so that we'll be able to continue to benefit from the dividend of democracy.
The APC presidential race features two aspirants seeking the party's ticket, incumbent President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Edo State-based businessman and trader Stanley Osipo. Abdullahi Mukhtar, ASO Television News.
Talking politics, the presidential candidate of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, Dumebi Kachuku, has pledged to lead an issue-based campaign focused on national unity, economic recovery and inclusive governance ahead of the 2027 general elections. Speaking during the party's convention in Abuja, Kachuku said Nigeria was at a critical stage in its history, stressing that the country needed courageous leadership capable of addressing insecurity, economic hardship, unemployment and social division. Topsy Gimba has the details.
The ADC presidential candidate, Dumebi Kachuku, thanked party leaders, delegates, and supporters for the confident reports in him, describing his emergence as a call to service and national service. According to him, leadership should not be about occupying positions of power, but about responsibility, accountability, and service to the people.
We'll be fought on our terms. We'll arm all the willing and able to rid our nation of these foreign invaders. We'll take the fights to their camps as we arrest and prosecute their sponsors. We'll no longer close one flank and leave another flank open for further incursions. The full might of the Nigerian military and the united will of the Nigerian people will confront our enemies. Our military will have clear instructions on what to do to the enemy. Our borders will be closed to all those who seek to harm us, because we now know the enemy is the enemy, irrespective of religion, tribe, and tongue.
The ADC flag bearer challenged political actors clearly present their economic blueprint, including plans for production, job creation, industrial growth, and sustainable development.
We'll guide and teach our youth the rudiments of digital commerce. We'll build technology parks in every central district in Nigeria that will serve as incubation centers for digital jobs, research, and development. We are an English-speaking nation, and we'll use this to our advantage to provide services to people all over the world.
Earlier, the ADC chairman, Professor Kingsley Oga, called for unity among members of the party.
And to the ordinary Nigerian who still believes that the nation deserves better leadership, we assure you today that your oath is not in vain.
This is a political party, not a one-man organization. Not a private entity. Therefore, it has to reflect political character. A political setup of this country has a rule and regulation, which we must abide by it. Anybody who feels he can do whatever he likes, then he is making a big mistake.
African Democratic Congress ADC, like any other political parties in Nigeria, is faced with division as a result of court cases. Topsy Gimba, reporting for ASO Television News.
The chairman-elect of Gwagwalada Area Council, Comrade Kasim Mohammed Ikwa, has reaffirmed his commitment to transparent and inclusive governance through strategic partnerships aimed at driving development across the council area. Mr. Ikwa made this known when he received members of the initiative on a congratulatory visit following his victory at the polls. During the visit, the group emphasized the importance of the Open Government Project, OGP, stressing the need for transparency, accountability, and active community participation in governance. They also expressed their readiness to partner with the incoming administration to promote sustainable development in Gwagwalada Area Council. Responding, the chairman-elect appreciated the delegation for the visit and their support, assuring them that this administration will remain open and inclusive. He stated that his government would focus on meaningful development through collaborations with relevant stakeholders by attracting investors to the area council. Comrade Kasim Ikwa further assured the group that his administration would continue to welcome partnerships capable of improving the living conditions of residents and promoting growth and progress in Gwagwalada Area Council. The Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, has temporarily suspended the enforcement of its No Pay No Service directive against airlines owing statutory charges to the agency. Director General of Civil Aviation, Captain Chris Najomo, says the decision followed extensive consultations with the aviation sector and consideration of the rising cost of Jet A1 fuel, which continues to impact airline operations and overall industry stability. Captain Najomo, however, clarifies that the suspension does not amount to a cancellation, waiver or forgiveness of outstanding debts owed by the affected airlines, saying all operators remain fully responsible for settling their statutory obligations. The Director General clarified that this is not a debt forgiveness. However, it comes on the heels of President Bola Tinubu's 30% discount on outstanding fees owed by domestic airlines to cushion operational cost. He further explained that the 5% ticket and cargo sales charge is a statutory fee collected by airlines on behalf of the aviation sector and is not part of the airline's operating revenue or profit, adding that the funds are shared among the NCAA and other aviation service providers to sustain safe and efficient aviation operations. The NCAA says that the temporary suspension of the directive is aimed at maintaining operational stability in the sector, while engagements continue with airlines to ensure full recovery of outstanding payments without disrupting flight operations. The Nigeria Immigration Service (NIS) has alerted Nigerians to the increasing case of fraudulent migration schemes and irregular cross-border activities being perpetrated by individuals and organized criminal groups across the country. In a statement issued by the service public relations officer, Deputy Controller of Immigration Akinlabi Akinsola, that the service warns that criminal networks often prey on vulnerable persons, especially young women and girls, with fake promises of employment, education and opportunities for a better life abroad. The statement noted that such deceptive schemes frequently end in forced labor, human trafficking and other forms of exploitation. The service stressed that it is illegal for anyone to leave Nigeria without a valid passport, visa and other necessary travel documents, warning that attempting to do so exposes individuals to serious dangers. According to the statement, no legitimate travel process bypasses official immigration procedures or authorized border posts, urging Nigerians to be cautious of unsolicited offers of travel fare, or assistance to travel abroad from unknown or unverified persons. The Nigeria Immigration Service further advised members of the public to verify the authenticity of all travel documents, travel opportunities and recruitment offers through appropriate government channels and avoid dealing with individuals or agents promoting irregular migration. The service also called on citizens to report suspicious movements, activities or persons linked to such schemes to the nearest immigration office or other relevant security agencies. It urged parents, guardians and community leaders to remain vigilant and educate young people on the dangers associated with irregular migration and trafficking in persons. The statement reaffirmed the commitment of the Nigeria Immigration Service to securing Nigeria's borders and protecting citizens from exploitation. For inquiries, the service encouraged the public to contact its verified communication channels, including its social media platforms and 24-hour contact center lines. You're watching ASO Television News. Remember, you can watch ASO Television News on DSTV channel 392 and on Star Times channel 127 and on Free TV channel 507. We're also on the UHF band on channel 38. For more stories still ahead in the news, CBN Governor reaffirms commitment to orthodox monetary policy. For detail of these and more stories, do stay with us. We'll be back after this short break.
And all their modern ambition pace. There is no margin for error. So much here is familiar.
Over 1,900 games brought us here.
There is not a sporting heat quite like this.
But history doesn't care about the journey. It only remembers how it ends.
You bottle it. There's no other word. You bottle it.
8 titles. 1 month of mayhem to decide them all.
That is outstanding from Patrick Dorgan.
Stay connected and watch GoTV to catch the football season finale this May. It's on.
Federal government's new operational framework for the Nigeria's solid mineral sector would unlock inherent values and transform the sector into a major revenue driver. Under the new arrangements, Nigeria Revenue Service (NRS) has assumed responsibility for the collection of mineral royalties and related fees, while the Ministry of Solid Minerals Development retains its role as a sector regulator. The government said the era of weak compliance, illegal mining and poor revenue capture must come to an end. Speaking at the joint stakeholder sensitization program organized by the Nigeria Revenue Service (NRS) and the Ministry of Solid Minerals Development, Executive Chairman of the NRS, Zaccheaus Adedeji, declared that Nigeria could no longer tolerate a system where vast mineral wealth fails to translate into economic prosperity and social development. The sensitization program themed From Resources to Revenue, aligning solid minerals operation with the 2025 Tax Reform Act, brought together mining operators, regulators, investors, license holders, and government agencies to clarify the operational procedures under the new royalty framework. Adedeji, who was represented by the Executive Director of Finance and Corporate Services at the NRS, Mohammed Lawal, said the implementation of the 2025 Tax Reform Act marked a historic turning point for the mining industry. According to him, the reform was designed not merely to increase government revenue, but to establish a transparent, efficient and sustainable royalty administration system capable of boosting investor confidence and strengthening accountability across the mining value chain. He said Nigeria is richly blessed with abundant solid mineral resources spread across every region of the country, and that as a nation, we can no longer afford a system in which enormous natural wealth fails to translate into measurable prosperity, infrastructure, jobs, and improved social outcomes for our people. The air in Mararaba, Nasarawa State carried a sense of celebration as members of the congregation of the Redeemed Christian Church of God gathered for the dedication of their new church building under the theme Praise Explosion. The event drew pastors, community leaders, and believers from across the area, all united in gratitude for what God had done. In a homily, the leading pastor in charge, Region 28 Pastor Olale Olayinka, said the dedication reminded everyone that the building itself is only a structure, noting that the real temple is the people of God who will fill it with prayer, praise, and the preaching of the word. Belumi Adeyemi tells us more.
Pastor Olayinka highlighted that every brick and beam in the building stands as testimony to God's grace. He noted that the journey from laying the foundation to completing the structure was marked by challenges, but consistent prayer, unity among members, and supporting from the wider community saw the work through.
The honor of the church for grace given unto the leadership to lay the foundation, and today, May 24th, to invite us for the dedication of the sanctuary. We give glory to God. We want to thank the Lord. All that we will say concerning the issue of security is that every one of us, we need to be vigilant. God is our shield. But notwithstanding, we still need to appeal to our government that they need to do the needful so that the life of innocent will not be wasted. So the government should arise in order to be there for the citizen. And every citizen also must be conscious, security conscious.
On his part, the pastor in charge of House of Glory Parish, Pastor Isaac, congratulated members for their commitment towards the church project.
He's the builder of the church. We are just vessel. Yes, we are just vessel. And that is why I want to sing this song. Take the stage, Lord. Have your way. I'm just a vessel and nothing more. When you've done, please take the glory. I am satisfied just to see you glorified. All I have to say is thank you, Jesus.
Speaking to Also Radio and Television, wife of the pastor in charge, Mrs. Rotimi Ebenezer, called on worshippers to dedicate themselves to the service of God and humanity.
The glory. I never expected it to be this. I never expected that God is going to take it over this way. I really appreciate God Almighty for making it a glorious program. He brought his sons from far and near to grace the occasion. So I am very, very grateful for what he has done for us. I'm happy to see these days. People will be poverty. But we didn't experience one. Why? We have people that bear the pain of others. Every first Sunday of the month, you see how many bags of rice? You see spaghetti. You see indomie. You see eggs. You see things that will make children happy, to come again. So it's a church that we feel the pain of each other and we share when one is having joy.
For the members, the new building represents more than space. It represents growth and responsibility. It provides room for youth programs, women's fellowship, outreach, and prayer meetings that were previously constrained. Leaders urge the congregation to see the dedication as a call to deepen their commitment to evangelism and service in Maraba and beyond.
Operatives of the Zone 2 Command of the Nigeria Police Force have uncovered a major drug trafficking syndicate in Lagos, seizing suspected illicit drugs estimated at 7.8 billion naira and arresting several suspects, including the alleged kingpin, A.K. Henry Ifeanyi. The operation, carried out by officers of the Special Protection Unit in collaboration with Divisional Police detectives, followed months of surveillance and intelligence gathering coordinated by the Zone 2 headquarters. The raid, which took place in an apartment within an estate in Mende, Maryland, Lagos, led to the recovery of hundreds of bags of suspected Canadian loud, allegedly stored in the residence of the prime suspect. Addressing journalists at the scene on Saturday, the Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of Zone 2, AIG Olohundari Jimo, disclosed that the suspect was apprehended on May 19 after weeks of strategic monitoring by operatives. According to him, the operation was executed with technical support and guidance from the Inspector General of Police, IGP Olatunji Disu, alongside coordinated efforts between the SPU and the divisional police teams. AIG Jimo revealed that during the operation, the suspect allegedly attempted to bribe the SPU commander with 500 million naira to compromise the mission and allow the movement of the drug consignment. Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Olayemi Cardoso, says the adoption of orthodox monetary policy, transparency and evidence-based decision-making are the best ways to restoring confidence in the Nigerian economy while strengthening macroeconomic stability. The CBN governor in Abuja at the opening session of the workshop for Monetary Policy Committee described the ongoing reforms in the financial sector as critical, transparent and capable of economic buoyancy. With the theme, Strengthening Monetary Policy Effectiveness Towards Sustainable Macroeconomic Stability, Mr. Cardoso commended the deputy governors, members of the MPC, directors and other stakeholders for their resilience and dedication in navigating the economy through a challenging period of reform. He emphasized that reforms introduced by the current leadership at the bank have begun to reverse the institutional and structural challenges inherited by the bank at the inception of this administration, while pointing economic sustainability. CBN Governor Olayemi Cardoso has been praised as an advocate for women's empowerment through his consistent support for female emancipation with policies and initiatives that promote equal opportunities for women. This was stated by the acting head corporate communications CBN, Mrs. Hakama Sidi Ali, when she bagged 2 prestigious awards at the 15th African Iconic Women Recognition Awards, which held in Abuja. Harisidi Sirajo tells us more.
It was a night filled with glamour, music, celebration and inspiration as distinguished women from different walks of life were honored at the 15th African Iconic Women Recognition Awards, dedicated to recognizing excellence and outstanding contributions to society by women. The event, held in a colorful atmosphere filled with elegance and excitement, brought together dignitaries, business leaders, professionals, entertainers and advocates for women empowerment to honor exceptional women for their contributions to national development. CBN's acting head corporate communications, Mrs. Hakama Sidi Ali, who bagged 2 prestigious awards, the African Iconic Female Spokesperson of the Year Award and the People's Choice Award, dedicated the awards to her colleagues for the transformative reforms enacted under the current leadership at the CBN.
In the 66 years of existence of the Central Bank of Nigeria, it is only Mr. Olayemi Cardoso that trusted as a reformer and futuristic looking to appoint a woman as the first spokesperson of the Central Bank of Nigeria. This unprecedented milestone is not only for the Central Bank of Nigeria, and it is not only for Nigeria, it is for every African woman out there.
CBN's head of media relations, Olalekun Ajayi, spoke glowingly on working with Mrs. Sida Ali.
Akama winning this award is not a surprise to most of us because of her humility and her application to the job. Akama has brought a lot of innovation since she came into that role as an acting director in November 2023. And since then, the data, as the Governor Cardoso will always say, the numbers speak for themselves, and the data we have been churning out since then in terms of acceptability, in terms of understanding, in terms of the reach of the CBN, and in terms of messaging, the numbers have been really, really high up there.
The Director of Admin and General Services, Kano Ministry of Land and Physical Planning, Alhaji Hamid Sida Ali, a relative of the celebrant, praised her dedication over the years.
She excels in whatever she puts her mind to, and this has demonstrated her capacity and ability, which we have seen long ago, but today the world has also seen it. I congratulate her, and I identify with her, and I wish her more successes in her life.
The head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Mrs. Didi Esther Walson-Jack, Minister of State, Budget and Economic Planning, Dr. Doris Aniti Uzoka, Minister of State for Education, Professor Suwaiba Said, also received awards in other categories. The award night featured exciting side attractions, including performances by a vibrant cultural dance group that thrilled guests with traditional displays, while a live music band entertained the audience with captivating performances throughout the night.
21 house chores, as though womanhood was a lifetime sentence written in kitchens, and yet they called us fragile. We did the fire in the rail, we did the gold in the dust. Talk said too much, every scar to the store, every step in the crack.
For ASO Television News, I am Haris Raju.
And that's the size of our package for this evening. We sincerely thank you for watching. My name is Usman Khatun Umar. Good evening.